I'm joined by Greg Clemens, who has systemic scleroderma. It's a very rare disease that attacks your autoimmune system. What is it actually, Greg?
Yeah, it's exactly what it's an autoimmune system where instead of the body attacking bad cells and keeping you healthy, it turns on you and it attacks the good cells and attacks your body and the organs. It attacks mostly women. The men that do get it usually get it worse than the women, and unfortunately for me, I have the most severe part of the disease. It's called systemic scleroderma, and that's affected me now for almost 3 years.
What are your main symptoms?
The main symptoms are loss of function of my hands and fingers, and that's been the most painful. Loss of function of my feet. It's been hard to walk. My feet get numb, so I'll trip and fall more than I should. Painful in the legs and the back, and the other part, that's just the external, part of it, the part that people can see. But I'm also getting attacked on the inside now. The real dangerous part of it is that it can really attack the internal organs, and mine has attacked my lungs. So I've been battling that for about 2 years now, and I'm probably going to be getting a double lung transplant at some point.
Must have been really scary when you first found out.
Yeah, when I first found out how serious it was, because I had never heard of it. Nobody had ever heard of it. It's not like, lung disease or cancer or, some of these other things where everybody knows about it. I went in and I said, look, I'm getting all these ulcerations on my hands. I'm having trouble using my fingers. I'm falling a lot. I'm having trouble swallowing. I'm having trouble sleeping. I'm so, all these things. And I said, I'm having trouble doing my job. I was a lawyer, a solo attorney for a long time here in Andover, and I was having trouble doing my job. Concentrating, holding files, just physically holding files, turning pages. It was very difficult. So when I first went in to see a doctor, they thought it was rheumatoid arthritis. And that was obviously wrong, because rheumatoid arthritis doesn't have the symptoms that I was getting. It doesn't have the ulcerations on the hands or the feet or the trouble breathing or the trouble swallowing. So we finally got to the bottom of that and figured out what the actual diagnosis was, and there was no cure for it. That's the first thing they told me, was there is no cure for it. They put me on chemotherapy. I was on chemotherapy for 18 months, and I don't know what that did. It may have slowed it down. I don't know, but I won't go back on the chemotherapy. That was a miserable experience for, not just me. I mean, I could have handled it, but it was really bad for my family to see me like that. And then I got off the chemotherapy, and I said, I'm not going to do any more pharmaceuticals other than, if they could give me some painkillers just to kind of get through the day. But all these other things they wanted me to take, I said I was just going to try to do a holistic, natural approach to trying to cure it, which I've been doing. I can handle it. I've been handling it for 2 years. I have a lot of support at home. I support with friends and family. They've been wonderful to me.
What's the hardest part day to day?
The hardest part day to day is using my hands. Getting dressed is difficult. Driving is difficult. Just trying to use the hands, reading the paper, anything. That my hands are in constant pain. It's always a constant reminder that I've got this disease. Now that my lungs are kind of deteriorating, going upstairs or walking quickly, I'll lose my breath and I'll have to sit down and I'll have to really kind of concentrate on my breathing. So, those are the things day to day that, it's a constant reminder that I have this. And my doctor said, look, you've got to treat this as a very serious disease. They said if I don't do anything within the next 24 to 48 months, and this was 2 years ago, that I would be in trouble. That most people don't survive a lung disease this severe. That you've either got to get them replaced or you have to go on chemotherapy to slow it down.
Are you afraid?
I am afraid. I'm afraid of the surgery. I did go to Philadelphia about a month ago, and I met with, the team, the transplant team, and they went into great detail about what the surgery entails and the recovery. And she told me that it's the most difficult surgery there is right now. More difficult. There might be a brain surgery that they say technically is more difficult, but a double lung transplant is right at the top of the list in terms of difficulty, more than a liver, more than a heart, more than a brain. It's a 10-hour surgery. It's a 6-week recovery in the hospital, and then maybe another year at home. So I'm afraid of doing that, but then I'm afraid of the alternative because, I read a lot. I want to do the holistic, natural recovery, and I think I can, and everything I read, they say you can do it that way, but Western medicine, these doctors who are a lot smarter than me, and I can't compete with them when it comes to talking about this stuff.
Say otherwise.
Right. They say you're a fool if you don't go with this treatment. Yeah, it's depressing because, I used to play a lot of sports growing up with these hands and play a lot of sports with my son, Jack, baseball and basketball, and it's almost impossible to do now, which has been hard on him. And, I remember growing up and being his age and wanting to play ball, and I wish I could get out there with him, but it's very hard for me to do that. He understands, though. He understands. So, yeah, these are gloves that are good for the fall and early winter, but the real cold stuff that's coming, they're not the best for. But they do protect my hands because I'm constantly banging them.
What role has faith played?
It's been a big part. I came back to it I came back to the church after a long layoff. And I'll admit I came back for selfish reasons, because they said there was no cure. I pulled out all the stops. I said, I'm going to do what I can. How I eat, how I exercise, all these kinds of things. And then I said, I'm going to go back to the church and see if I can garner strength from that. And that's been great. When I came back, I met your mom, Clara, who's been wonderful to me the last couple of years. She really has been fantastic to me. And that's helped. That really has helped. And the worst thing you can do when you have these kinds of things is just sit and dwell on it because it fosters depression. You end up feeling sorry for yourself and you don't get anything done. So, my goal is every day get up, shower, get dressed, and do something positive and proactive and keep your mind off it. Whether it's reading a book or, getting involved in the church with a food drive or a clothing drive or whatever it is, or getting involved with the school, with the kids' school activities, something just to take your mind off it because, in my opinion, human nature is we tend to feel sorry for ourselves when we get hit with bad news. So I didn't want to live like that. I still don't think, that this is going to take me out. I still think I can beat it. But I've got to maintain that positivity. The hard part was losing my practice. I had to shut the practice down because I wasn't doing my clients any good. I couldn't really function in court. I couldn't function in client meetings. They were starting to ask questions because, with the chemotherapy, I lost a lot of weight. And I got down to, I'm 6'3", and I got down to about 155 pounds. And I looked gaunt, I looked really terrible, and clients were asking what was wrong.
Greg, it's incredibly brave of you to come on and talk about this very difficult disease.
Yeah, thank you, and thanks for providing the forum for me to tell my story, and hopefully people will see this, and if they want to contact me and discuss it and kind of share what they're going through, I know it does help. I'd be more than happy to listen.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.